Oh, hi! Hello, everybody. The sound is kind of weird in here. So today we're doing this from the basement, which is one of our meeting rooms that we are enjoying here in the new offices.
Hi, Dwight.
And they put this really fancy background, which looks awesome. So, hi!
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us once again. It's that Dave guy. Yes.
Yeah, it's Dave.
So let me stop checking the chat because we're not doing that. There we go. Okay, the menu we have for today, we have some very tasty things, not too salty, just nicely spiced. So that's not it at all. Okay.
That's a good picture.
Yeah, all right. There we go. So let's start with saying hi to Bjorn, who's outside the room, but he can hear us. He's happy. Hi. And saying hi to our mods. Do we have a list?
I'm sure we do. It's
Okay,
not
it's not a touch screen, so you cannot possibly find a way to activate it.
It's been a while I've done this.
It cannot be
Is it
touched.
Yes.
It's good.
Okay.
Isaiah, Clyde, we have McLean, we have Sassy, Suggestive, and Suji.
You didn't mention Mubot. No, I was kidding. I know.
That's
You
not a
didn't
real
interfere.
person.
I like that.
Alright, so thank you very much for joining us. There's a bunch of other mods also that I know will be having my back in the Discord. I appreciate it. So, oh, Sassy's saying, is that my mug?
It is, it's still black though, I'm sorry. No time.
Alright. Okay, I'll start with a few quick notes on consoles. PS4 has had everything delivered last week, so that's the Lullaby came in on Tuesday, I believe, or Wednesday, and then Halloween came in on Friday. Xbox players, Xbox One players, had the Lullaby come in on Monday, and now, since today, have access to Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I saw a beautiful post just as I was browsing Reddit before I came here that said, Xbox players, do not let Michael Myers stare at you.
And then it had like a whole dissertation on it. It was great.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
yeah,
I like
don't
to
let
hear.
Michael Myers stare at you. You're not supposed to do that.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Sure. He powers up. So I mean,
Yeah.
I guess.
The hook lag was quick fixed on PS4 last week,
Very nice.
which is amazing. Anybody who played it was plagued by that. Really feels a rush of relief right now. Microsoft is holding on to that patch right now. Maybe it's on our side because we put in a few other fixes in there that made it a little bigger so that they're actually checking it thoroughly. But the point is, it's coming to Xbox One players imminently as soon as Microsoft says so. I also just saw notes of Xbox melting crash that we have.
Melting?
It's not melting, but essentially it hard resets the Xbox console.
That's a big difference.
It's it does not actually.
I was
melt.
afraid. I was like, Jesus.
I don't know how we could do that.
I don't know.
If you die, your Xbox melts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if you die in the game, you die for real. That's not true.
That's not true.
We tried to make the Xbox explode to, more immersion, but no, that's not possible.
So you were saying it does crash though?
Yeah, so there's a big crash on Xbox that actually reboots your whole console. I do not know more than that, but we are in contact with a few people who have had that issue. It seems to be a very, very small number of people, but still, it's happening. Therefore, we have people looking into it right now, but I don't have much information. This happened like an hour ago. I do not have a fancy roadmap like Gabrielle usually does. Gabrielle, who by the way is not here because she's in a plane right now hurtling through space towards us. She's coming back from Sweden.
That's a good detour.
Space?
Space?
Yeah, well, depends. Some people have different definition of space.
I guess so.
Yeah, like the height at which you get to space.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Anyway, there's legal and scientific differences. Anyway, so I don't have a roadmap, but I can tell you that the next thing for us is the soft ban feature. Comes with all the rules and regulation that goes with it, but also it's kind of a big deal. We don't want to, for instance, ban random people by mistake or have the bans not stick or the whole. This is a sort of a finicky system. So
ban needs to be clear. When you open the game, you need to know why and when it's going to end.
yeah. So that's something that is currently being worked on. We were hoping to release it this week, but it was not exactly ready. So it's going to happen quickly. I have a question here. When will they fix the matchmaking issues? We are constantly fixing matchmaking issues. Actually, it's much smoother. We don't hear as much screaming about the matchmaking as we usually do. Most of it is about finger guns lately, it seems, which I'll put as a good thing. But matchmaking will be constantly improved for sure. Can we get some DLC sneak peek or any information about new content? We just showered you with new content, but maybe we'll talk about something a little later. Can you show survivor killer ratios? Well, I do have some stats that I'll show a little later, but they're not survivor killer ratio, not exactly. So we'll get to that.
Other stats.
Yes.
Okay. Save the best for last and play with your food. Gonna buff a little.
I would like to. Gonna buff a little. No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play with your food. We were looking into making it so you can keep bloodlust stacks like permanently after you chase. Well, not permanently. You're gonna get bloodlust stack when you chase your obsession. And you can use it to go chase somebody else. Otherwise, it might be interesting to make it so that as soon as you injure the obsession, you gain the speed boost for as long as he's injured, and as long as we have perks or add-ons that allow you to extend the time it takes to heal, it should be a viable strategy. So anyways, we're looking into this. If you have an opinion, please let me know. I read Reddit like Steve, so thank you.
There you go. Can you guys add some kind of lore? If you get 3 prestige on Dwight, you will get a story that entity let Dwight go. Well, you obviously couldn't get a story that the entity let Dwight go because
is it like
he's
the
still
cake?
stuck there.
Is it like the cake?
It is.
It's a lie.
It's absolutely a lie.
I would love to put more lore in the game though.
Well, we are sort of, with an eye drop.
Every time,
putting
of
a
course,
few
we
things.
release new
Every
content.
time there's a new character.
I'd like to go back to all the
even-
characters too.
Yeah. Just explain a little bit why they're there and what they're doing there, and there is reason behind the madness, and it's unclear to people out there. But some people are piecing it together. Some also are making very, very bold theories, and some of them are actually close to the kind of story we have internally here. Yeah. When are the new perk adjustments coming out? So we talked last week about a bunch of changes that are coming to some older perks, and
So we're talking about like urban evasion and
Yeah.
urban presence and Lightborn and all those other perks. Yes. I can't give a date, right?
no,
We don't have a
it's
date.
coming soon. It's the next update.
Soon. They just want to hear soon.
Do they?
They ask the questions that have to be soon. I mean, like we can't give dates. I apologize. That's not how it works.
Reality, yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna happen with the next update. We wanted to do it with the soft band. It didn't come out now because it's not ready. These things tend to get packaged together, and once they're in a package, it's much harder to say, oh, we'll just remove the one thing that we can't, that's not working right now, to ship everything else. So when we made a call at some point in the production pipeline to say these are all going to come out together, then we sort of have to stick to that.
And because we work on several of these things in parallel, then
Yeah.
one needs to come before the other. So it just gets stuck there until it's ready to be released.
Yeah. Buff Nia and give her a shirt that isn't a tank top, please.
Okay.
So Nia's buff is urban evasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, she likes tank tops, but yeah, she'll get some
She
stuff.
could have,
Did she get nothing out of the charity case? That's not a tank top.
No.
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 And she wasn't part of the. Oh yeah, she was in the 80s case, but she didn't have anything else at that point.
Pants.
Yeah, she had pants. Can we get PSN avatars of the Dead by Daylight characters? It's true, we don't have. Please, can I borrow your pen to make a note?
Please.
Because PSN avatars would be
Amazing.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
Even Like, I don't know what the system is. It's probably something similar that you get for trading cards or emotes and things in Steam. We need to look into that. It's something that we just didn't, it didn't occur to us. There was so much to do. So it's a very good Dr. Django, I guess. Thank you very much for the suggestions, and we will look into that. If only because I'm still sore that the really cool Xbox heads we had made for avatars for Naughty Bear never got released.
Wow.
Like, we made
Totally
those. They were super cool. You could
great.
get the Unibear head on your avatar, all of these things, and they never got released.
Yes.
So yeah,
Shame.
let's fix that. Is there still? I'll have to look into Xbox One if there's still avatar costume pieces. I assume so
I
for
guess.
Xbox One. I have to actually plug in my Xbox One at home and power it up, which makes the whole lights go down, I guess, because that power supply is mean. All right, when will the hook lag for PC be fixed? It's really, we couldn't, like, the same code behind the console and the PC created that issue. On console it was a huge issue and it actually could be felt. On PC it's very, very unnoticeable. If it is a problem, please let us know, because for us it was never flagged as an issue we needed to fix. Obviously we made improvements on console and these tend to make it into the PC and vice versa. But we didn't think that the hook lag was a problem on PC. I've never been made aware of that. So
Usually a fix on a console or on PC will eventually get to all the
well, that's it.
Right?
Will there be an option to re-roll daily rituals?
We are looking at daily rituals. I don't know when the change will be done, obviously, so you can ask, but we'll say soon. Maybe not soon for that one.
But you can already delete.
You can delete one, but we want to look for different ways to do the rituals in general.
Put more rituals, have weekly, monthly rituals, something like that.
Yeah. Did you guys talk a little bit about Thomas when you joined the team?
We didn't introduce him, no, but he is coming. I asked him yesterday.
Right.
He's happy to do it. So Tama is our economy designer. Joined us 2 months ago, something like that. Super nice guy. And when we release, that's one of the questions I have in here. But essentially, we have a big system, which is the other half, if you will, of the Victory Cube, the bit that comes with the survivors, but it also influences the killers. All of this, he's one of the people who worked the most on that, on balancing that whole system. So he's going to come and explain it.
Explain what he does, yeah.
Really
So part of what he's looking at is daily ritual, blood points in general, scoring, anything that adds an economy within the game.
There you go.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone's saying Europe matchmaking for survivors takes really long. Any news on that? It's usually because of the massive people, but we're as I said, the matchmaking is something that we're constantly improving on. There are fixes that we can do even on the back end that doesn't need to go through the consoles manufacturers or anything, and there's some that need to be patched, but it's it's something that will be constantly worked on. Legacy for console. No,
that's not gonna happen.
No, never. Never.
If ever we change the grind again, can we do something like that?
But won't be that legacy.
No, but something else.
It could.
Okay.
When might we expect more customization for newer survivors and killers, such as David, Ace, Fung, Doctor, Hag, Huntress? Like maybe some Naughty Bear references on clothes.
That'd be cool.
Well, we have announced that the September event, which is coming at the end of September, or mid-September, something like that, will actually, as a reward, have pieces of customization for Mr. King and for the Huntress.
Oh, no way.
What's the ring on the Huntress's finger for?
Oh, well, the Huntress likes to collect things from...
Knickknacks and mementos.
When she hunts, sometimes she'll take a skull because it's pretty, but she likes shiny things. So a ring that fits her finger, she would keep.
Was that Ace's ring?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. No.
She didn't just chop it off?
But no, because then you get into a place where that ring could be there.
And the Anthony doesn't give a shit.
No.
Consistency is not his
in the
forte.
game. So. Care to elaborate on how We're Gonna Live Forever is going to be nerfed?
Sure. So We're Gonna Live Forever is not going to change in terms of its mechanic at the moment. The changes that I was, what I aimed to do were all value changes, so I didn't actually go into changing the mechanic. I didn't have the time to do that. We're Gonna Live Forever gave a lot of points. 200% is a ton of points. We're nerfing it down to 100%. So that we can give room to make other blood point perks that are similar to this perk itself. And we want to do this as quick as possible so that we can, cause the pain now, I guess, and not have to train it on for a longer time, get you guys get used to it. So it's better now than later, in my opinion. My decision, I guess.
Be ready for pain.
Yes, so it's 25%. It doesn't mean that it's actually a crap perk at this point. You still get 2 times blood points, which is a ton.
Pretty significant
for what you're doing. The people who are using it in, let's say, bad manners way, as some people put it, there are better ways to use it. You don't actually have to put yourself in the situation to get these hits or whatnot. You can get them just naturally throughout the game itself. So, be nice to your homies.
You guys coming out with any Dead by Daylight toys? I'd love that. We've
cool.
talked to a few companies. It's kind of difficult to get these things rolling quickly, but yeah, it's something that I want to see in the future. Absolutely. So I talked about the September event that's coming, the community event. There's going to be a challenge again. There's going to be a website again that's checking the challenge and helps you count along with the time passing by. And I told you about the rewards. There's also the cosplay contest is going on right now. So the fan art contest is gone. The cosplay contest is in full swing. You can now vote on your favorite entries. It is on the Alienware website. There are some crazy good entries in there.
Sure.
So go check it out and then vote for your favorite ones. We also have the Behavior's 25th anniversary coming up.
Oh, damn.
So at the end of the month, Behavior will celebrate its 25th anniversary of existence, which is a pretty big deal.
It sounds like fireworks.
Well, yeah, we're probably going to...
Firecrackers.
We're probably going to do a little dance and maybe have a little fun. So we'll see what we do, but we're just very happy to celebrate our 25th anniversary.
That's going to be awesome.
Survivor that shoot firecrackers out of finger
Roman
guns.
candles.
Finger guns with firecrackers coming out?
The Roman candles, right?
Yeah. That's a strong maybe.
Oh, come on.
Why is the PTB never used anymore?
We've been in a hurry.
Yeah, because we're going quite fast.
Lightning speeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's relativity. We just don't have the time.
Yeah, it's just that. It's still a tool that we would love to use,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not usable at this point.
Mm-hmm. They're off.
Yeah, can you guys add the nerfs, the hag, and all the other characters as theme backgrounds like the other killers? The backgrounds on the cards are very finicky to work with because of the balancing issue, so you can't add more cards after because it screws up with the rarity of the existing cards and all that. The backgrounds, we could probably do that, but it might be difficult to get them afterwards. I will make a note of the backgrounds. Please, sir. Backgrounds. Okay. I have some stats to show. Some people were asking about killer efficiency last week, so I have a few stats to show. Bjorn, if you can pop that up. That's the one.
That's awesome.
Bloody Stats, Killer Edition. Okay, so the first screen talks about the killer distribution. Very interesting. So the Huntress right now is extremely popular. The only thing more popular is the Hillbilly if you're rank 1. So the red bars are all rank 1 and the blue bars are all ranks together.
Damn.
And so overall the Huntress, the Trapper, the Shape, very popular. Hillbilly is very, very, very popular for rank 1s, but a lot less for other. Rate is still sadly misused. I think you were using it today in the game. You had a good time?
I use Rate, yeah.
With good add-ons, he's quite powerful.
The Nurse, much more used by higher rank players because she's very hard to play well.
Yeah.
It's a skill killer.
Curve, yeah.
The Doctor is also used a little more by higher ranking people because maybe it's a little confusing at first. It's not as straightforward as the others.
Seems to have the most even distribution.
very, very surprised to see that the hag's at the bottom, because
So-
I play
so-
the hag almost exclusively these days.
So what's that? Is it? Yeah, but you're just one player.
Yeah,
You're
but
player match.
I
also
like
playing-
the hag.
You
She's
count.
also
You count for
playing
one.
PC.
Yeah.
You count for one too. So is that only PC or is that?
That I believe is everybody.
Okay.
The next slide, please, would be the killer efficiency.
Okay,
Efficiency, that's a typo there, but absolutely fine. The stats are valid if the language isn't. So the average amount of dead survivors in a given game, we can see that we're very, very close. We're a little above 2, so survivors do die more than they survive.
I like how Wraith is like the most balanced. He's just like, I kill the same all the time.
So yeah, nerfs, higher ranking players are better with the nerfs. It was expected.
At that scale, it's all the same.
Yeah, it's like such small variations. I think that we can say that our killers are all as efficient or almost.
Our players
And,
are at least.
Yeah, well, that's it. So people who I guess people who are not good with a killer switch to a different killer or something.
Yeah, we should
Anyway,
take a look at efficiency rate.
Is there another slide? I don't think there's another slide on this
No.
one. There is no other slides on this. So thank you very much. I think that was actually, when I saw those stats this morning, I asked Julien to provide those, and I looked and I'm like, surprisingly balanced.
Surprisingly.
I'm not surprised.
Alright. Okay. What do we have here? Any plan to make a We Will Live Forever style perk for killers? Yes.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
smiling way too much.
I'm enjoying myself.
Are you hiding something?
No.
Okay, good.
Me? No.
Would it be possible in the future to have prestige blood on all pieces of clothing instead of just one of the standard pieces? No, the prestige is for the suit, the one suit that defines these characters more than others. And we couldn't do, well, we could do variations on every single piece, but it would, it's a lot of work for every single character. We want to be able to produce a new character in a reasonable amount of time. Left 4 Dead ever coming to Xbox One? No, Left 4 Dead is bound to Steam. So there. Okay. So that was the stats. Did you have stats? Yeah, you have stats.
I do actually.
Okay, let's talk
wanted
about
to-
your stats.
Yeah, I wanted to share some fun stuff. It's basically, I've been digging around in the engine and trying to expose what our basic values are to have a really good idea of what's happening in our game. Right now, a lot of our killers feel stressed, and I believe it's valid. Our game goes really quick. There's a lot of generators that go very fast, and there's a lot of reasons why. I would like to share my findings with you guys. I'd like to get this shown up on Gamepedia as well, which is our official website. If anyone can actually share.
Official wiki.
Wiki, yeah. If we can actually share it, maybe in the chat, that'd be awesome as well. So let's go. Bjorn, if you will. Yeah. So we're going to start with something you all know. Survivor movement speed base values. So at the top you see the walk speed. It is in centimeters because our engine is in centimeters, and then we translate it into meters a second, which makes much more sense.
Yeah, I like metric.
You do? There we go. You can see that we also have walk speed for injured. This is basically your camper crawl speed. We just call it weird. 70 centimeters a second, 0.7. You have the run speed at 4 meters a second. The crawl speed running could be a thing if we wanted to make it. But right now it's actually just the same. And the crouch speed is at 0.84, but this is going to change to 1.13 if you're not following. That is half of the walk speed. So
There you go.
things are going to change.
Someone is asking, how do we work with Stefan without hugging him all the time?
I have to actually hold them off.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I have a
You're
barrier.
not a hugger,
What?
though, Dave.
Lies.
No, I don't know.
I have more
Your
stats.
children beg for warrant, but no.
Yeah. Can I see survivors, please? Thank you. Survivors for
that's-
3,000.
Okay, there's a lot of text on there.
There is.
So snapshot and keep that.
Well,
to
this
later.
will be actually on the wiki, so you guys,
Yeah.
so you guys can see this anytime you want. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You guys can take a look at it, but just some fun stuff. We have recover stop percent. This is when you are recovering from the dying state. You can get up to 85%. Just as like a little tidbit, back in the day, this was 95%, right? Which is pretty crazy. And this is actually the percentage of the total dying time, which is 240 seconds, which you can see camper dying time. The rest, please feast your eyes another time.
There you go.
Bjorn, I've got 2 more.
Okay.
3 more. Co-op base repair values. This is basically what happens when more than one person is working on a generator at a time. Back in the day, we used to have no efficiency debuff. So when 2 people were working on a generator,
It was times 2.
it was twice as fast, which means you were doing it at 2 charges a second, which at the time was 60 seconds, so that you were doing it in 30 seconds, which is nonsense. We've increased it, we've changed it. You can see the numbers here. Please, again, another time. Bjorn, if you wouldn't mind, it is time for the generator, hook, and bear trap values. This shows you the skill checks, the charges, the failure time, how long you can't work on a generator until after you fail a skill check, the chance, the duration, the length. So, if you are looking and you are astute, you will notice at some point that the bonus success percent reward kind of looks a little weird. 2% of 80 is not the same kind of scale as the 3% of 15 or 16. I will be looking into changing these things as a way of balancing the game to make it more dealable as a killer and more fun overall, because then hopefully killers won't feel so they don't feel the need to camp, because they can feel like they have time to go out,
Yes.
chase another survivor, hit them. They don't really care as much if they get unhooked. It's all part of the game, right?
Do go on, sorry.
Next slide.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so there's a few people who say, "Ooh, tasty, that I understand all this," and some people are saying, "I have no clue what the hell this is." So obviously,
It's
this
okay.
segment might not be for you.
No one
people who
cares.
don't
That's
understand.
what I said.
It's
That's
fine.
okay. That's okay. You'll see these later too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's good. But yes, please put it
I
on.
think one more. That's the last one. All right, cool. This is the base healing values. Again, very quickly, if you see that the sides have dashes, it just means that it's the same all the way across. It doesn't mean that it's actually negated. It just means that we have one value for it. So seconds to charge at all times for any state is 12 charges. This means 12 seconds because you charge at 1 charge a second. If you have a med kit, you speed that up. If you have efficiency, you use less charges to get to that point. Enjoy the page. Thank you.
Children, you'll be fine while the adults are using their brains for a few minutes. That's a
Relax.
little
It was nice.
harsh,
It was.
but yeah, good.
Enjoyed it.
Glad you enjoyed that.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully, we can make sure that this goes all up on the wiki so that people who like to dig into that kind of thing can take the time and
Absolutely.
digest it.
Yeah, and just a little note, shout out to the Discord group for helping us out with these kind of numbers and things. It has helped us identify a lot of issues and help out a lot of people and reduce a lot of frustrations, which we're starting to see in Reddit and Steam. So thank you so very much, and I hope you guys are enjoying what we're doing so far.
Yeah, so the people who are asking about seeing these after the stream will get in contact with our friends at the Gamepedia wiki.
Yeah,
There's one other thing that we're not in the slides, I think, as a side B to this, is the killer actions and the killer animations.
Oh, for sure, yes, good
That's
point.
super interesting.
Oh,
because
yeah.
we find that we're in, as killers, we're in like waiting state too much.
Way too much. You do like
picking
kicking the
up,
generator.
doing the trap,
Yeah.
breaking the generator, everything, putting on the hook, everything's about like waiting and just want to kill someone else. So we're also looking into making these actions shorter.
Absolutely. So we've already started with Killer Vaults, which is coming soon, as we always say. And what was it? We did 2 things. And pallet breaking speed, which is now faster at 0.4 of a second. Now, for those of you who don't understand what 0.4 of a second means, it means that the survivor is gaining, was it like 3.4 seconds or something, or meters a second, something like that?
That's crazy.
And, no, it was less than that, it was like 1.8, I think it was 1.8. So, as far as gaining 1.8 meters a second, since killers catch up at 0.6 a second, that means it takes 3 seconds for that killer to catch up. So I have cut down 3 seconds of chase time from the break pallet. So it should be scary for survivors, it should be making you happy as killers. Enjoy.
And the other thing we're doing is that every 15 seconds, survivors are going to get stuck into a finger gun animation, so that you can.
While in a chase, they'll just be like, hey! And you get hit, you
Well,
cancel
I'm
your reset.
trying to get finger guns in there.
That's good. All right, well, they asked for it. I guess, it doesn't matter how they come. I'm okay with that.
There we go.
Tease.
So people are asking when the Survivor Cube is coming. So that's the Victory Cube for survivors or whatever the badge
It's not
system.
just for survivors.
It's for everybody. It's gonna change the way the tally is done at the end, how we judge
exciting.
things. It's coming. This is gonna take at least a month or two still until we get to the end of that.
So it's being implemented at the moment, and since this is such a big thing and changes how the game is played, we will play with it for quite some time before we're ready to ship it to you guys, obviously. So if I think that in October, like mid-October or beginning of October, it should be ready for us. And then, well, when we'll feel confident that it's ready for you guys, we're going to ship it.
That's quite a lot of clear information. Okay, I have a few questions here. Those asking, these are questions taken from the Steam forums. There are places where the whole week you can go and write coherent questions in there, and then at the end of the week, usually some of the mods, Murph or someone like that, goes in there and sort of weeds out all the duplicates and the ones that just say horrible things or are illegible, and then it gave me a thing that I print and I go around and get answers. So, what's your opinion on pallet looping? It bears all the signs of being an exploit.
So, I've looked at pallet looping, and I find it very interesting in terms of a mechanic in our game and like a thing that people do. It makes a lot of sense when you run to a pallet and it's the only object that you can think of that will protect you, and you don't think you have the courage to get to anything else. You'll stay by it for as long as you can. It's like a kid running around a tree. You just keep running, and it's like it's not going to help. You should probably go elsewhere, right? But for some reason, we decided to stay by pallets. Now, Bloodlust penalizes you for this. You should be trying to get from pallet to pallet to pallet, right? So you're not really using your time efficiently unless you're not really good at unless you're good at like running away or hiding, right? So I believe that you guys end up getting caught anyways. Doing the pallet looping, it just takes a longer period of time because of Bloodlust. It's not the most efficient thing.
Yeah.
But you guys could be using your time more efficiently as well. We are going to be doing things that will be changing this in terms of the pallet breaking speed. But killers, most of the times I just eat pallets.
Yeah.
For breakfast, try as early as possible in the game,
Right.
Because otherwise, because if you eat it for lunch or for dinner, it's too late. And then when you chase them down in the area where food was, there is no more food if you did it early. So please, I hope my metaphor wasn't too far. I kind of like just left it.
No, I liked it.
Yeah.
Can you make skill checks much harder when repairing gens? Hitting skill check is so easy that they require no skill. When people have problem with skill check, they can equip technician.
This should be part of the whole look that I'll be doing when I look at generator values and survivor values and killer values and whatever. So yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, for some people, skill checks are still a challenge every time until you get to the end. Some people are like, yeah, you know what, after 3,000 hours, I don't care, I'm so good at Twitch stuff that, and it's sort of irrelevant. In that case, you're essentially just making your progress much faster. And for the people who are still stuck having to pay attention and freak out every time, some people do, then it's got value in a different way. But yes, using it better is on our plate. Well, that's a question for Matt Walker, but there's obviously no more room here, so we'll keep that for next week. Are you considering adding weekly, monthly rituals too with greater rewards, maybe different tasks? Yes, we talked about this a little bit, but it's something that we'd love to do that. Option to sell back items, offerings you'll never use.
It's also on Tama to look at this.
Yeah. Are you pondering at any point to add an AI mode? Absolutely not.
Oh.
Why?
Because it would be such an amount of work to get, I believe. Part of what I think makes Dead by Daylight fun and good is the fact that you're playing against the best AI out there, other people. Humans. What ideas do you have about reworking dull totems and hex totems?
We have a bunch of ideas for that. They have just been sitting and waiting for the ability to do them, the mechanical changes. We were kind of waiting for the hag cube. That might be a little too long, but we'll see. The idea would be there's some things like you can light up the totems later. I saw great ideas, being that you can start the match and then you can place your totems yourself. What was the other one? Dying. No, what was it? The third seal. We wanted to put dying auras hidden and hooked auras hidden until you break the totem. This would either be on hit, which I think would make it balanced. I don't know if we just make that off the start, if people would just lose their shit. And we'll try it out. We'll see what happens. But there's a slew of things that we'd like to do and investigate and see. So I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but yes, we are definitely looking at that.
Okay, there's a big question here by Fook Boy. People who disable VSync or change the scalability, will they get banned? No, not specifically for that, but and it's not a matter of wanting to punish people for doing this. We want to be able to add many more settings to the game, and we will do that in the coming months. We talked about it earlier this week, Dave and I. But right now, if you go and change any of the files in the game, there is a chance, as we said, that those changes will be flagged by EAC, and if you are flagged by EAC for doing that and you get banned, we will not help you for this specifically. So do it at your own risk. I do believe that right now people are doing it and they are not getting banned, so this is not being flagged. But if tomorrow we decide to change the way we package files and those files become flaggable by EAC for a reason or another, we're not going to warn you beforehand, and yeah, so that's going to suck. Well, we might warn you beforehand because we don't want 20,000 people to get banned tomorrow morning, but I don't believe that's that many people. So yes and no is the answer to this. Okay. Oh, with the nerfs to Moris, it was supposed to be balanced out with the nerfs to brand new parts. We had a big conversation about that yesterday. We did. You want to say 3 things?
3 things. We're not done.
Okay.
That's 3. No, that's 3.
So these 2 things we're balanced sort of more or less together because they are equivalent.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And they're more balanced.
They're more balanced than what they were before. Killing somebody outright in a game and removing them right off the start is not something that we necessarily want. I don't think we want. I feel like it's not fair or fun for either side. The whole point is that you should have 3 lives, and the killer's goal is that he's putting pressure and putting you scared into losing those lives during the match. So I believe we balanced the Ebonies, not the Ebonies, but all the Moris in a better sense, but it doesn't mean that we're done. We can still do other things. I'm down for looking at them, just that they were quite difficult at the time.
Like we said earlier, I think that, giving more time to the killer in general through all of his actions
should help a lot.
Yeah, more than these specific uses.
Yeah, and then the brand new part, it should be consuming the charges each time you hit a skill check for the amount that should be given or whatever. So we'll investigate that. That should help it out as well.
By the way, some people were asking, if I change my files, how do I revert them and make sure they're fine? You can always check integrity in Steam, and this will essentially make sure that you are back with the exact normal
original
game.
Yeah, go into Steam, click on the game, right click, go to properties, and then choose
check file integrity, I believe it's called.
Something like that, yeah.
I'll double check what
verify integrity.
Yeah. Oh, Shadowborn doesn't seem to give any brightness anymore. Is this intended or not? Currently, this perk is inferior to monitor and abuse in every way.
So, if you don't have monitor and abuse, you can always run Shadowborn. So I mean, like, it's not inferior to monitor and abuse if you don't have it. Secondly, the bonus is much smaller than what it used to be. We can look into making this more if it's too low. It used to be 1, and now it's at a value of 35. So it's much smaller in terms of what you were used to. So yes, it looks like it's not there, but it is there. It's very smart. It's like it's
so the correct procedure is you right click on the game, you go into properties, and then on the local files tab you have one that says verify integrity of game files. That's the one.
That's how you do it. That's how you reset your files so that
make sure it's your
clean up track.
It doesn't reset the save.
No,
Not
never.
cool.
Can you get better mics? It's so hard to hear. Is it hard to hear us? No, it's your shitty computer. I don't know. That's what Bjorn just told me.
You heard that a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
You want to say hi? No? Okay.
Wasn't that the nurse?
There's a lot of people passing right in front of us.
I thought I saw the nurse.
Because that's the office. Was that the nurse? Oh my god.
Still here.
Sure.
Do you want me to
Come in.
Can somebody come in and say hi?
Yeah. Just
Sorry,
come in and
sorry.
say hi. You have to come behind Dave and say
You can
hi.
join on the hook.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
That's Chris Ferreira.
Hi,
He's,
nice to meet you.
What do you do now? You're creative director?
Head of creative for the Behavior Studios portion.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So Chris is a really nice guy.
Awesome.
And the one point of fact of fame is I actually came up with the name for the game.
What?
I still have the email of where I came up with the name for Dead by Daylight.
So that's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah. That's my one contribution. It isn't much, but
No, it's pretty
a lot.
good.
I think
Yeah.
you merited being on here.
All right.
enjoy the show.
Thanks, Chris.
I'll hook you later.
All right. So, where were we? That was an extreme interruption. I'll go get my menu here. I didn't remember that it was Chris, but I think he remembers forcefully because that's the only thing he has to hang on to.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hold on to.
Yeah. I mean, it's his biggest achievement in life.
Yeah.
He's got 2
Of course.
kids, and this is still his biggest achievement. Okay, those are the questions from the Q&A, and we've gone through a lot of the questions. Will we ever see more of what that glorious entity looks like? Full body look of the entity's form?
We'll see more of the entity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably not like a full frontal nudity shot of the entity.
Well, he doesn't have a front.
Isn't that when he's with Dwight?
Okay, I wanted to talk about upcoming content before we get distracted and roll into other stuff. So I want to talk specifically right now about an upcoming killer perk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Can we say the name?
No,
Damn
we
it.
can't say the
I
name.
tried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I read it out though? I want to make sure that I say the right thing.
Sure. I'll put it up
This time.
right
I
here.
will show. So I heard people liked.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can read that.
I heard
That was
people
a
like
double
Deerstalker. I know what Deerstalker did. So this is a new way of playing Deerstalker. The slugging game is different now. So I hope you guys enjoy. The trauma caused by your brutal attacks make crying for help painfully difficult. I'm reading the text. Dying survivors.
Don't read it fully.
The whole thing
No,
is
no,
not-
no.
Don't
Just,
read
I'm
the
not
whole
going to go
thing.
through the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh man, dying survivor auras are not revealed to other survivors when they're standing outside a 40, 32, or 24 meter range.
so
No.
take a moment to let that sink in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the reverse Deerstalker.
It is.
So you can have Deerstalker and that,
Yeah,
and
of
then
course
you
we do.
laugh.
You will never forget where they are, but I mean, like, you're probably better off with nurses
Yeah.
calling.
Maybe.
I gotta be honest, because then you can just see them getting healed, and you're just like, dead. I enjoy that. It makes me happy. Modern abuse at that point, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Have a fun game.
Oh, it's a full dimensional nudity then.
Well done, McLean.
Yeah, thank you. You can always trust McLean for a good pun.
It's true.
So yeah, so essentially what it means is that when you down people, survivors cannot see them until they get close to
It's
them.
super scary as a survivor.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
exactly a reverse Deerstalker. I know people are like, well, when you see it on the outside of the radius, I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You can put them both together and get infinite
No.
range. That'd be cool.
But it's just, it plays in the same sort of kind of rounds as the Deerstalker perk.
Yeah.
But the idea, as you were saying, is it's super scary for survivors because you see your friends fall, and then when you hear the scream, you don't even
No,
see
that's
them
it.
fall. You just hear the scream.
You
and
just
you're
hear
like,
them, but you don't
shit,
know.
and you see the icon, you go,
Because that
I don't know where
outline
they
is
are.
usually telling you where the killer is, right?
Yeah.
Just so at least you know if you're safe or not if you're far enough.
But you can run empathy.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world. Not yet.
so I like this one. I think it's going to be good.
So too.
Uh,
We're only doing one? No survival?
no,
Oh.
no, we're not talking about survivor perks today.
Yeah.
We'll actually, yeah, we might get back to that, but no. For now, I would like to do my favorite part of the stream, which is really cool stuff I found on the interwebs. Which, can I just go here?
Show us. In the meantime, No Mither
Oh yeah.
is staying No Mither.
It's funny how some people are saying this is a
Right.
shit perk, change it. It's a super funky perk, I will give you that.
Thank
And
you.
it's not an obvious win but it's really cool.
It works. If
You know, if it
you
really
play
bugs
it.
you, don't use it.
Yeah,
There
use
are how many 68 other perks I think you can deal with right now.
That's a lot of perks. I don't think is it 68 perks?
I don't know.
68,000 perks.
That's a lot
Oh,
of
okay.
perks.
Yeah, I was close, but can I zoom in on this? No, I can't.
Enhance.
Magnify.
Usually.
Okay, so let's look at a few really cool things I found. The first one was amazing because yeah,
It reminds me of Kerrigan.
it's the ultimate nightmare for killers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that Lori?
That's
No.
That's
Adelu
everyone.
17, I believe,
That's
who
Claudette too.
created this.
Meg too. So
That's cool.
Everybody's in there.
it's all the nasty perks.
Yeah,
And the purple flashlight, obviously.
yeah,
I like it.
it's awesome. The next one is from Blue Kier.
So can we make purple flashlight actually purple like that?
No,
What?
no, it's technology that doesn't exist. Colored
Fluorescent
lights, you
lights.
crazy? So Blue Kier made this, very cute. Then a few pictures from Gamescom. So we had some really talented cosplayers and very excited people at Gamescom. Thank you very much. So we were able to find a few people there, a few cool pictures. That's funny because that's the survivors finding items and trying to use them. That's not working.
Isn't that the Wraith?
That's killers. That's all killers, and they're
Alright.
all trying to use medkits and maps and
Oh,
just.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought the Wraith was teaching them
No.
where to place traps. I find survivors always over here, man.
Then we have Joachim. I don't know why this made me laugh.
What you doing? Is that like a Shrek reference? I'm not
I
even sure.
guess I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is.
Or Adventure Time?
Yeah, because of the outhouse. That's probably a Shrek
And it's a
thing.
swamp.
Get out of my
And
swamp.
Well, it is a
That's
swamp,
Shrek's
more or
house.
less.
That's Shrek's house.
Then Chris, we had already shown one of those images, but the
Awesome.
few others are in there. It's beautiful. It's really cool. I love it. Oh, then we had Lucy. I like that picture.
Croissant.
It spoke to me.
Is that just
yeah.
a shout out to Quebec? Is that the croissant? Or is that
I don't know. Well, we don't get those, so this is not from here. It's
I
a
don't think they
European
don't have
thing.
to know that.
Oh.
You won.
Well done. And I like that he obviously uses like pumpernickel bread
Yeah.
because yeah.
He didn't use blood.
No.
I feel like blood would have made that better.
He doesn't eat blood.
Maybe on the other side because you put mayo on one side, blood on
That's
the
what I
other.
mean, Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Not the Basement. Made a very snazzy Mr. King here.
That's cool.
It's really nice. And then we have Shade Kramer. This is actually
Oh.
cosplay.
Yeah, that's what's
It's
cool.
beautiful. So some people are really getting into this. Very talented people. Love it. Then there's a name I'm gonna mangle here, but at least it's written at the bottom there. I think it's Shuangfang or some sort form of that. I wrote it phonetically when Alex translated.
That's smart.
But that's very beautiful. Thank you. I don't know why Dwight is so infant-ish in this.
Because that's what she does.
Yeah.
She likes little babies.
It's her axe melody.
She likes babies.
Good.
Then Torato made this really cool piece.
Oh, Nia.
Yeah,
Nice.
always need a little Nia in there.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. And the last two are just troubling images. I always find some that I like, what? Huh? What?
That'd be a
Well-
cool game.
I don't know what this is. And the last one is,
Stalker romance.
huh? But, okay.
Is that the trapper? That's awesome.
It's
And
the
hillbilly?
trapper and the wraith
Uh-huh.
and the hillbilly and they're
Is this a bad
doing
guy?
something? I don't know.
Even the nurse is like, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, someone made this. Someone, spent time and effort making this
And
because
we
they had it
thank
in
you.
their heads.
Yeah.
And
Can
we
we get
thank
that?
you.
Like,
And we thank you, and we take pride in helping you, have creativity or something. Whew. Okay, we'll take a few more questions before we wrap this up.
like that.
It's pronounced no mither. Well, actually, if you ask 12 different people, you'll get about 15 answers.
I
So.
corrected myself very silently. I was like, no matter.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's too much silly things happening in the Twitch channel from the mods right now, so know that. I'm terribly upset. Okay, last picture was a reference to the Pillarmen in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Ah, there you go.
I did not know that.
Do we want to know?
How do we send you our ideas? The best way is probably through Steam and Reddit.
Yeah.
Reddit has a...
Not Steam chat, by the way.
No,
This
no,
discussion.
do not poke us on Steam to tell us your new idea for a killer.
It's good.
But if you go on Reddit and you post something, and well, we do spend a lot of time on Reddit. I think you and I spend a lot of time on Reddit. A few others on the team.
Yes, again.
Huh? Maybe a new suburb map containing a cul-de-sac. I don't know why you specifically want that.
I want to know why.
We will get that answer next week from Mr. Walker. But
Wow.
we have a question for you. We want to know why you are
cul-de-sac?
asking that. Yeah.
I interrupted you, I apologize.
Maybe he lives in one.
Oh, maybe.
It would be like his turf.
That'd be freaky.
Is that it?
I don't know if it's a good idea now.
So the best place is probably Reddit or Steam.
Yeah.
Steam, you might get a little swept through the torrent of stuff on there. On Reddit, if it's a good idea, there's a chance that it'll actually get upvoted and you will get a little visibility. So
That's true.
yeah,
Be courageous. Be bold.
yeah. Sewer map.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like literally any location where you've either seen a movie take place that was scary or you yourself have been scared in there, then that would work. If the killer gets stunned while holding a survivor with a pallet, you get 1,000 stun point, but killer does not get stunned and drop the survivor. Fix when?
Not sure, but I'm on it.
There you go. Thank
Makes
you.
me sad too. You kind of wait there, and the guy picks him up, and you're just like, ha! And you're like, damn it! Ah!
Mathieu, when will you cosplay
Too early.
Dwight? I had a killer Meg outfit for Halloween,
was true.
so I don't know what I'm gonna do next.
That's true.
Cosplaying Dwight would be the easiest thing for you. Meg's better.
I mean,
I do have a really nice Pizza Dwight shirt now that I
Yeah,
got
sure.
from merch store.
You should do Nia next.
Yeah,
There you go.
You like her so much.
my uncle's basement map.
Yeah, that's
Basement.
scary. That's
So
scary.
someone is asking for his uncle's basement map.
Well,
That's
I don't,
scary.
what does it look like? We need a definition.
Don't send us picture.
Oh,
No,
okay, don't
no,
say
no, no.
definition.
So there. I think that's it. I don't have anything else to add today, except thank you very much to our mods for helping keep this clutter of cats in more or less order. Thank you, Bjorn, for doing things with buttons.
Thank you.
And thank you, you two, for joining me today. That was kind of fun.
You
Right.
forgot to tell about the DLC that's coming. The one with the finger guns, the crawler, and the actor.
Get out of here.
Oh yeah, the actor. Someone asked about that.
Mm.
That is one of those things you call a fabrication.
The fabrication. That's the
The
name of the chapter.
fabricator. Yes.
Fabricating again.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm
You
sorry.
really riled up everybody with
I
that.
waited to the end.
Yeah. And oh yeah, the word of the day. I put the word of the day in there to tell people. The word of the day today will be bablative.
Oh.
B-A-B-B-L-A-T-I-V-E, and bablative is an adjective of someone who is prone to babble.
Oh, that's good.
That makes
So
sense.
I thought that was a very fun word. So bablative,
Now you know.
use it and impress your friends. That's all I got. So thank you very much for joining, and we will see you next week with much more of Dead by Daylight.